And just like that, we've reached the final video of this summer. It's hard to believe it's been a month, a little over a month, 5 weeks. And in that time, you've gone from where you started, most of you with no programming experience whatsoever, all the way to seeing recursion, object-oriented programming, and really having made a great deal of progress. It's so impressive to see what you've done over the past few weeks. So let's talk briefly about some important details in closing down this course. The final exam is on this coming Monday. And again, because we have these two sections, you have a little bit more flexibility in when you start. And I think that's pretty nice because 8 a.m. is not generally the time most people want to be waking up and starting exams. But if you're an early person, and that's great, you can start at 8 a.m. I'll be up at 8 a.m. monitoring email if there's anything that comes up. And through 11:30 a.m. is when you need to start in order to have the full time. You will have the full 3 hours. But I don't think you're going to need it. I think this is when we design the final exam, it's meant to be sort of like a quiz and a half, 2 quizzes, maybe not even quite. It's probably closer to a quiz and a half. So the format's very similar. No surprises here. There'll be a few diagrams, similar number to a quiz. There will be a few more constrained choice questions, like multiple choice and select all. And in terms of what to be thinking about, it's big picture concepts. You can use your notes, you can use the course materials. You'll have time to go refresh yourself on specific questions if you need and think through it. Otherwise, it'll feel very similar, right? And that'll be it. So I want to just back up a little bit and talk about where we started. We started with a diagram that looked like this, the fundamental pattern, where we take some inputs. These might be inputs that a user types into the system. It might be parameters to a function. It might be clicks on our screen as we just were drawing trees using the mouse input of the XY that you clicked on as a starting point for our little tree algorithm. And those inputs are fed into an algorithm. And algorithms, you've written and seen many of them in this course. Fixed amounts of code that can process impressive amounts of data or take on an impressive amount of computation. That simple little function in the turtle example could draw a beautiful tree, and it could draw a much larger, much more beautiful tree, even with that same code, that one simple little recursive function. Now, this is all happening in some environment. For example, in the turtle, as we're focused on that, the environment was what was showing on the screen. So your code was causing some output to be on the screen. Similarly, when we printed results in our algorithms, that was getting output to the screen. And when we're working with files and reading files into our program or potentially saving files by outputting from our program to our file system, that's all changing our environment. But that's not really the point of most algorithms. The point of most algorithms is to produce some results, some computation, and so on. And so this is the fundamental pattern, and I want to take a step back briefly and think about, well, where else does this apply? This isn't just a computational pattern that applies to function definitions or programs and the large, but we think of this as courses as well. And so you were an input, and hard work was a part of this input. Having your laptop and having the right machinery was an input. And what was the algorithm here? Well, the algorithm is this course. And this course is designed to, in the short time that we had together, put you through lessons and exercises and diagrams and quizzes, all with a distinct goal of this summer helping you become a programmer. And I think you should take a lot of pride in making it to this point in this course. There were actually a number of people who dropped in the first week, realizing, oh, this is going to be more than I can take on, but you've done it. You're here, and you did it in the summer environment. This summer, we've had a lot of things going on in the world, and we've had a lot of things going on politically that have been very distracting. You've potentially had other courses you're taking. You've had maybe other jobs that you're earning money in, taking some of your time and focus, and hopefully you're enjoying your summer too and getting some downtime. But I want to congratulate you on making it to this point and doing as well as you have. It's no small feat. Programming is not something that comes naturally to most people, but I hope that you feel like you've actually really achieved something pretty significant and that you feel more comfortable thinking about how code works and a little bit more comfortable in understanding how the programs that you use might work under the hood. I want to take a brief moment to encourage you to fill out course evals. I'd love to hear what went well, what should we keep for future summers. You can find the link here on campus, on Canvas. I'd also specifically like to call out this particular format of a course. So this is an asynchronous course that you were able to complete and follow the videos and work on the diagrams, with much more flexibility during the day than if we all were sitting together in a classroom in Sitterson Hall on campus. And so if this flexibility was valuable to you, I'd love to hear that and see that in the evals. And one of the reasons for this is because historically, summer school had not been something that people could complete remotely. This actually was one of the few upsides to COVID, was a realization that, we could successfully offer remote and asynchronous classes. But UNC is evaluating, should we go back to summer school classes having to be in the classroom, show up every day of the week at the set time and day. And so if this format was valuable to you and you think it would be valuable to students in the future who have other jobs or who are doing some traveling or just don't want to pay for rent or a dorm in the summer, if the remote asynchronous worked well with you, would love to hear that and see that in the evals, because I think there are some real upsides to this, not just being able to be remote or have other jobs that might on some days outside of the quiz days conflict, or just having the option to sleep in on some days. That's nice too. There's a real benefit to some of the approaches and having to submit diagrams and having to submit things that confirm following through on lessons that you don't actually get in on-campus classes. And that was a realization that I had this summer in putting all these videos together for you over the past few weeks, and setting up the exercises and so on. So in closing, I want to give a special thanks to a few folks, specifically your undergraduate teaching assistants. I hope that you had a good time working with them. I think most of you came in and helped and were helped by them. If you are continuing on in computer science and want to serve as an undergraduate teaching assistant in the future, there will be an opportunity to apply for the spring that happens later on in the fall semester. So be on the lookout for that. There will be an announcement if you're taking COMP110 or something like that. But these 5 have been fantastic to work with. And I want to give a special thanks to you. You all have done an incredible job keeping up with the course, and you have been on time and submitting things and staying up to date. And in doing so, hopefully that's helped make it feel doable and more grokkable, and you were able to rise to the exercises and the homework that we put out, and understand what was going on in our code listings. But again, I know that during the summer, there's a lot going on. Everyone's sort of a little bit burnt out from the school year, but nevertheless, you all have really crushed it, and I've been impressed with what you've done. And I think that if you have enjoyed this, you should really strongly consider taking COMP110 in the fall. I think there will be open seats when open registration comes. And if you haven't enjoyed this, good to find out now rather than going too far down that road. And I appreciate all of the effort in getting through it and not giving up midway through. That's taken a heavy lift in a busy summer time. If you're thinking about what can you do next, well, I would encourage searching around for the types of problems that you want to find. If you search for how do I do X in Python, typically whatever X is, you'll find some good materials on Google. And as you become comfortable with the terminology, I actually think playing around with something like ChatGPT and sort of using it as a collaborator once you understand the concepts and the things that you're asking for, is a valuable way to start writing programs and to learn new things as you're going. In the beginning, I think that using in this course, using ChatGPT can actually hinder your learning as to understanding the key concepts. But once you have those key concepts down, I think they're a fantastic tool and will be much part of the future. In any case, thank you for everything that you've done this summer. And all we have left is the final, so I think you're going to crush it. And hope you have a great rest of your summer. Get some downtime between now and the fall semester starting. And yeah, Thanks for all the hard work.